Alrighty, real talk before we get into this. I'm strongly considering ending this monthly New Mac Games series after doing it since January 2016, I believe. The views are just not high enough compared to my other videos now, especially the new App Store games for each month series. I think a strong reason for this is just because the games on offer each month for you guys or Mac gamers are usually not up to the standards that many of you are hoping for. While I love all the games I show and I feel they are worth your time, I get that most of you want more AAA titles, but I can't show games that don't exist for Mac in the first place, and I'm not going to show games to play under crossover, parallels, or bootcamp in this video, as I don't really like using that software in the first place, and I want to show native Mac games. Otherwise, there's no purpose of this series. Plus, it's really hard to make appealing thumbnails for these videos, which usually only feature 2D games or small, unknown indie games in general. Anyway, I just wanted to make it crystal clear on my thoughts, and that I might not be doing this series anymore for at least a while, unless you guys have some, I don't know, creative ideas to make these videos more appealing to a wider audience. I'm sorry if that was depressing. Anyway, thanks for listening. Back to the video. Here are 10 new Mac games from September and also some from August. Number 10, we have Super Animal Royale. Super Animal Royale is a free-to-play 2D 64-player battle royale game. I first played this one a few years ago in closed alpha, I believe, in 2018, and it was super fun, and it's still super fun. The game has expanded so much since then. Now the game has Season 1, crossplay with other platforms, pets, map updates, new weapons, power-ups, controller support, and so on. Look, I really highly suggest that you try this game, as it's a fresh take on the really oversaturated battle royale genre. And you know what? It's not as violent or toxic as well. The best part is that it can run on practically any Mac out there thanks to its 2D visuals. Super Animal Royale is available on Steam. Number 9 is SkateBIRD. We don't really have any skateboarding games on Mac, especially not ones where you skate around as a bird. SkateBIRD may have some issues, especially with its camera controls right now, but it's an interesting idea that you get to play as a bird, as you can pull off sometimes impossible tricks that wouldn't normally be possible with, you know, a traditional two-legged human being like you or me. There are different bird-sized parks, you can equip different clothing, play different mixtapes or soundtracks, you can help out other birds, and much more. While the dev has put out an update for the camera issues, I still strongly suggest playing with a controller right now for the most comfortable experience. SkateBIRD is available on Steam. Number 8, we have the Rewinder. I love a good point-and-click adventure game, but I have never played one about Chinese mythology. You play as Yun, the last known Rewinder. So in this universe, a Rewinder can communicate with spirits or the dead and can explore other people's memories to alter the past. It's super cool and creative. The game uses pixel art, which was done to mimic the aesthetic of Chinese ink paintings. The thing to note here is that the puzzles are pretty easy, but don't worry, they are not too easy to, you know, be boring either, if you get what I mean. In my opinion, there is not a dull moment in the story here, and that is all I ask for. The Rewinder is available on Steam. Number 7, we have Before Your Eyes. Originally released in April 2021, Before Your Eyes was ported to Mac on the 31st of September. This game's special for a lot of reasons, but what I want to point out is that the game uses your built-in camera on Mac to progress through an interactive afterlife. What I mean by this is that you can use your actual eyes and blink through memories of family, first love, and the rise of an artistic career. What an awesome feature, and I haven't seen this done before, especially not on Mac. Don't worry if you happen to have a Mac without a camera, which I would say is rare, but you can still play this game without a camera. The only problem is that the game can be quite emotional, so if you are known to tear up easily, the camera can have a hard time tracking your eyes if you keep blinking to, keep away your tears. Note, the Mac version of Before Your Eyes is currently only available on Steam and GOG. Number 6, we have Timberborn. In September, Timberborn became the #1 trending game on Steam for Mac players. It may not be everyone's cup of tea, but that is a great accomplishment. Timberborn is a city-building game featuring ingenious animals, vertical architecture, river control, and deadly threats. But where are all the humans? Well, they're long gone, because, they dried out the planet and perished, which might happen to us. Now the animals are taking back their land. Players can control one of 2 beaver factions, Folktails or Iron Teeth. Each faction has a unique style, buildings, and gameplay traits. The biggest thing to note in this game is that it is in early access. I didn't notice any bugs or performance issues, to be honest, but right now the game requires a powerful Mac to play. I'd say you'll need a Mac with a 2GB or better dedicated graphics card or an Apple M1 based Mac. You can get the game on Steam, the Epic Games Store, or GOG. Number 5 is Eastward. I first discovered this game in January 2020, and now it's finally out in September 2021. It's a beautiful adventure game with some RPG elements. Society has collapsed and gone underground, and you follow an unlikely duo going to the land above to hopefully find a thriving outside world. Instead, you'll discover bizarre new settlements on the outside, meet quirky characters, and fight off monsters and bosses. You can switch between the 2 characters, Sam and John, and you can even separate them to unlock paths, or just stick together because you're a scaredy cat. There is a lot more here, but I'll leave it at that. Eastward is available on Steam, the Epic Games Store, and GOG. Number 4, we have RPG Trudograd. I don't know how to say that last word. RPG Trudograd finally came out of early access in September. It continues the story of Atom RPG as a standalone sequel or expansion, and follows the formula of classic CRPGs from the early Fallout and Wasteland games. It's lacking polish in a few areas, that is for sure, but for a small team, it's very impressive. I'm so happy they also continue to support Mac too. Despite the game having decent graphics, it's actually a fairly low-end game, meaning it can run on most Macs back to 2012 in some cases. Atom RPG Trudograd is available on Steam and GOG. Number 3 is Myst. I have a lot to thank for Myst. The original was one of the first Mac games I ever played in 1999. And if I didn't play it, I doubt I would be speaking to you about Mac games right now on YouTube. The new Myst is a full-on remake of the original Myst, obviously, from the ground up. While all the locations and puzzles are mostly the same, you can now fully explore all the environments in beautiful 3D graphics, thanks to Unreal Engine 4 support. And just like the original pushed the possibilities of Mac computers in 1993 using the HyperCard software, the Myst remake kind of follows suit in a different way. It was one of the first 3 native M1 games to successfully launch on Steam under ARM64 architecture, and is the first high-end game to run at 4K resolution and 60 FPS on M1 too. Note, the ray tracing and VR mode is not supported on Mac, like many dopey coots on the internet will tell you. Myst is also a very demanding game, so check out the full list of supported Macs on your chosen storefront. The Mac App Store, Steam, the Epic Games Store, or GOG. Number 2, we have HUMANKIND. HUMANKIND is now available on Mac. Kind of. In September, the developer released the beta for Intel-based Macs on Steam only. Right now, the game is not supported on Apple M1-based Macs. It won't launch. Don't get it on M1. To access this beta, you need to opt into the beta-mac_1.3.248 on the Betas tab of the game's properties. If you want to play multiplayer between Mac and Windows PC, you must make sure all players are opted into the appropriate beta. If you have a low-end Mac, you may notice graphical corruption on some assets, and the local pollution effect tooltip using wrong values. So this is why you definitely want to play the game right now or indefinitely on a Mac with a 4GB or better dedicated graphics card. Number 1, we have Pathfinder Wrath of Righteous. I love a good RPG, and I love the Pathfinder series. Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous probably has the visual quality of Divinity Original Sin 2 now, but it's quite different in terms of having new ways of fighting. You can engage in combat using real time with pause, or traditional turn-based combat. Players can also switch between them on the fly too, which is great. Explore the nature of good and evil, learn the true cost of power, and rise as a mythic hero capable of deeds beyond mortal expectations. The Mac version had some issues with the inventory and trails dotted lines, but they have been fixed now. Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous is available on Steam, the Epic Games Store, and GOG. Play the game on a Mac with a 2GB or better dedicated graphics card or an Apple M1 based Mac for the best performance. So, what do you think of these new Mac games from September 2021? To be honest with you, I think this was one of the best months for Mac gamers since the release of Metro Exodus on Mac in April this year. That was a great month. I hope the next months can be even better than this one in April. Anyway, leave a like to show your support and subscribe and turn on notifications to stay up to date with everything Apple gaming related or Mac gaming related. My name's Stewie and thanks for watching.